Nomination for the Kingsport City Schools Hall of Fame continue, and here to share with us more about this program, honoring teachers and staff that have made a difference in students' lives, is Dr. Andy True. Hey Andy, how are you?
I'm well. Chris, how are you this morning?
I am fantastic. Let's
Great.
talk about this because we had covered some of this ground before, but it's so vitally important. If you know somebody that's made a difference in a student's life, it's time to get their word out on that.
And that's really why we want to have this conversation again, because we are up against our deadline May 1st to have these nominations turned in. It just is a way that we really want to be able to honor the heritage of our school system, to recognize those great educators that have come before us. We're so fortunate in Kingsport to have great schools. We've had great educators, but we know that hasn't happened, just with us, the people out here now. It really is based on the foundation that has been set for so many years before. So to be able to have a project like this, to be able to recognize and appreciate those great educators that came before us is really important.
I mean, somebody my age, you may remember someone who's still with us, or maybe nominate them posthumously. Either way, it's time to honor those folks.
Correct, and really it's for us a way to keep those memories alive for folks that maybe have passed.
Yes.
When we have our induction ceremony every year, and with the inductees that are still living, or with the families of those that have passed, it is such a special time for all of us, I think, to just pause and reflect and keep those great memories alive, keep those stories alive, and just keep that heritage and that history in our conscious thought process.
And you got 3 categories. Kind of break that down into the different categories for the nominations.
Sure. We've tried to separate it out so that way we don't get weighted to one particular period of history. So we do separate it based on when folks have retired, 50 years and back, and then from 49 years to 25 years, and then less than 25 years. And that's, again, just so that we don't get, I think it would be common nature to nominate and bring forward people that maybe that we knew or that are,
or fresh in our memories.
Exactly. Yes. But we want to make sure we spread this project over the full history. We've had some great memories and some great inductees that worked for us 70, 80 years ago. We want to continue to be able to have those types of folks recommended for induction and a part of this process.
They were pioneers in education.
Absolutely.
And you want to honor them as well. I mean, and for folks to do this, it's a very simple process to nominate someone, isn't it?
We have tried to make it so the process isn't a barrier. So you can go on our website, it's k12k.com, or just Google Kingsport City Schools. Right there on the home page, there's a link that says Kingsport City Schools Hall of Fame. You click on that, you can get all of the information about how to apply, but you can even actually you can nominate someone for induction right there on that webpage. So you can do everything right there. We do ask for a couple letters of recommendation, just so the committee has some evidence to kind of sort through when they go through the process. But the nomination process is all done, if you want to do it, right there on the website.
And when all those nominations are gathered and the real work begins there, because you have to pare that down. Talk to me about how that process works.
That's a really tough project. I don't envy. I help kind of guide that committee. We've got a committee of 15 individuals from throughout Kingsport, representing various Kingsport groups, to really have a broad spectrum of folks that work through that process. It is, there's a systematic process of, and you can read through that on the website, of how we go and kind of get down to those final inductees. It is a tough process. That committee really takes time to read through all of the nominations, and then they come together physically in the summer to work through kind of the final steps to get to our inductees.
And I really like the fact that we're not just talking about teachers here. We're talking about staff members. We're talking about anybody that had a hand in educating those students.
We feel really strongly in Kingsport, every employee is an educator. Everyone plays a role, and this Hall of Fame is reflective of that philosophy. So it may be natural for us to think of administrators or teachers, but we really want to make sure that we are considering all of the educators. So I could list names. I'd miss some categories. Custodians, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, assistants, all of those folks that really form that great puzzle. When you put it all together, it's kind of our full organization. We want all of those groups to be recognized through this project.
All right, Andy, appreciate you taking some time with us. Folks, we're going to have the information for you on the screen right here. Kingsport City Schools Hall of Fame. The nomination deadline is swiftly approaching, May 1st. K12k.com for more information, or give that number right there a call as well if you know someone you feel needs to get a little pat on the back and get nominated for the Kingsport City Schools Hall of Fame.